Previously on Bass Bites.
What do you play on a song that's hanging out on one chord for a very long time? Hi, I'm Ann Luna. This is Bass Bites. Today, we're going to look at Bill Monroe's White Horse Breakdown. All right, what I want to look at, let's look at a slower version of this tune, and where we're in G, so we've got some some open strings, and where I can look at this in another way for you. So let me cue that up. This is going to be a live recording of Butch Robbins and Mike Compton, and it's a slower tempo, but there's no bass too, so that's going to be kind of nice because you can just hear my bass line. So you can hear slower tempo, right? And you could come in at first, just with octaves. So there, I was doing some octaves, and here, I'm not throwing in my ghost notes yet, but I am throwing in the 6. So in G, that's your E. I've got a G, E, D, back to G, whenever you're going from your 1 to your 5. And I was doing that going back up. Right, so I'm just adding one note to help out a little bit there. And I'll even do that when it's hanging just on the 1 chord. I'll do the root 5, and then thrown in that 6. Right, so doing that, it kind of gives it a little push, right? And especially like at the end of like a 4-bar phrase or something. Those are 5. So there too, I'm either doing like a little hammer-on onto the E. You know, if your action is low enough that you can do that. Or you can articulate that a little bit more. Right? But it's just a slightly different articulation and flavor there. Okay, let's keep going with some ideas. I was doing that kind of typical bluegrass walk up from your 1 chord to your 5 of the. And so here I've got a low G, G, B, C, C sharp, D, back to G. 1, 3, 4, sharp 4, 5, back to 1. And you could either hit the low one or the high, right, octave. G, B, C, C sharp, D, G. And I'm changing the rhythm a little bit, right? Because I've been hitting on beats 1 and 3, bump, 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 bump. Right, so that also gives it a little push whenever I'm doing a little double time run. And it can be nice on a tune like this where everybody's like, wait, where's the 5 chord? Assuming that you know where the 5 chord is, or you decide that you're going to tell everybody where the 5 chord is, doing that little run is going to kind of like reset the group if everybody gets lost, right? Or if you see people kind of struggling. So that can be a helpful thing as a bass player as you're guiding the ensemble, right? And so another thing I was doing there too is rather than hitting the 5, every now and then I was hitting the 3, which in the key of G major is going to be a B. So rather than going the root 5, right, G and D, I did a G and a B. You could hit the high B, right? So I did a G, B, then I walked back down with an A. right? So here's your default, right? Root and 5. You could do a root and a 3. You could do root 3, 2, 1, 5. And you can do it in different octaves, right? So again, it's you've got more options than you think you do, even just on a single chord. And this is only one example of one tune, so we'll look at some other ones as well. But let's go back and play a little bit more along with this, see if we come up with some other ideas. So there, I was trying the flat 7 just to see, and it gives it a little bit of a bluesier sound, and it might be, you can decide if you like it, right? And on certain tunes, it's probably going to be a little more appropriate. Or if the song keeps going on, and you're trying to see, does that work, right? So there, instead of hitting the E, like we were doing earlier, hitting the 6, I was hitting the F, which is the flat 7. And there I'm doing a different walk down to the 5 rather than walking up. I did a 1, right, or an 8. You're thinking the G, F, E, D, back to G. So 1, flat 7, 6, 5, back to 1. And you might not like that as well, right? But it's a different flavor, and especially if somebody does hit like a 7 chord, then that's going to sound a little bit better. And I am starting to do a little bit of the ghost note thing too. So let's play a little bit more. And so there at the very end, I was hitting an F sharp to your G. So that little half step can be a nice way to hit it. Ta-da. So hopefully that's given you a couple ideas of some things to do over a single chord, right? Let me know if there's other songs that you would like for me to go over. I'm happy to take a look at them. I've got a few more in mind for this topic. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for your time, for your positive feedback and helpful critiques. So yeah, again, so thanks for your likes, your subscribes, your comments, your time. And I hope my main goal is that this helps your playing be more fun, more engaging, and maybe helps demystify a few of the things that you see bass players doing. So my advice also is to get a lot of different input, right? Get different teachers' takes on things, and you take them, you digest them, and you make them your own. Thanks again. My name's Ann Luna. This has been another episode of Bass Bites.